It's Tuesday, April 9th. I'm Jasmine Anderson. Migrants living in the woods in the Hamptons are facing an uncertain future. And because they're not citizens, their options are limited. We continue our special series now, The Migrant Struggle.
Living in the woods, a last resort for some migrants living on the East End. NewsdayTV visited 2 encampments in the town of Southampton. These hidden communities have become a place of refuge and oftentimes the only option for many due to shelter restrictions on Long Island. Mike Jafrida with the Ally Coalition for the Homeless explains why.
Single adults that are not U.S. citizens and do not have a Social Security number on Long Island are not eligible for any year-round shelter.
The organization's street outreach team works to find housing solutions for all people, regardless of their status.
Long Island is very big. There's a lot of wooded areas. It's not so easy to find people.
We'll get calls saying that, they can see people in tents.
Southampton Police Sergeant Gina LaFerrera says officers don't forcibly remove anyone unless they're on private or town property, or if the temperature drops.
We don't want to see anybody out there in the freezing cold because we obviously don't want anyone, ill.
But these encounters are often met with hesitation.
A lot of times they have their encampments set up. They don't want to leave their stuff behind, so they'll stay.
Although living in different encampments, the men face the same fear of losing the community they've created.
Pensábamos que ya va a entrar la maquinaria de allá y va a empezar para allá, le iban a haciendo desbaratar todo eso. Le decía cuál árbol lo marcaba, lo pintaba pues, de naranjado o de verde.
Jafrida says encampment sweeps can make things more difficult for the people who are trying to help.
The street outreach workers and others who were involved in the community trying to help that person, they lose that trust. In fact, in many ways, it prolongs homelessness because people could lose their belongings, things like ID, which are required to access housing and services. Outreach workers could no longer be able to find that person to continue to follow up with them and work on housing.
There's a plan to build affordable housing where one of the encampments is located. Newsday reporter Brianne Letta has been looking into this. What did you find?
Yeah, so this has been going on since around 2017. A nonprofit wants to build 50 units of affordable housing where the camp currently is. About half of those units will be set aside for homeless veterans, and they actually are still waiting on a zone change approval from the Southampton Town Board before the application can move forward.
And while decisions are still in the works, what is for certain, those living in the encampments would be displaced.
The more time that we have to be honest with people and meet them where they're at, the more success we have in relocating people in a way that they still trust us.
Read more about our special series, The Migrant Struggle, on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. A wild scene on the North Fork. Look at this car here. The driver who led police on a high-speed chase ended up driving off a cliff and into Long Island Sound. Southold police chased Roger Foster of Florida for 45 minutes yesterday from Riverhead to Greenport until they said he sped off a 100-foot cliff. The chase began after police responded to a domestic violence call in Southold.
Never hits the brakes, never slows down. Hits an embankment at the end of the street, goes airborne over the bluff, off the beach, and into Long Island Sound.
Police say Foster appeared to be okay, but was taken to the hospital for evaluation. Foster had 2 active warrants. No word yet on what charges he's facing. First in Newsday, nearly 36,000 New Yorkers now have suspended driver's licenses for failing to take their eye test. Drivers were able to temporarily put off the test during the COVID-19 pandemic. The state says drivers can still take and pass vision tests through the DMV or an optometrist to lift the suspension. A Sayville man tried to carry a loaded handgun onto a flight at MacArthur Airport. The TSA says the man had this 9mm pistol loaded with 10 bullets in his carry-on bag Sunday. Agents saw it in his luggage using the X-ray machine. They allowed the man, whom they did not identify, to return his gun to his vehicle. He's now facing up to $15,000 in fines. Pushback today against the plan to deputize Nassau residents. Steve Langford has a story.
No militia, no way, not on our watch. About 100 people outside the Nassau County Legislature Monday registering opposition to County Executive Bruce Blakeman's plan to allow residents and business owners with gun licenses to be deputized in the event of emergencies.
Does County Executive Bruce Blakeman not trust our law enforcement? Does he not trust them to protect us in times of emergency?
The county executive says at least 25 former law enforcement and military veterans are already undergoing refresher courses and will be ready to serve in about 30 days. Blakeman says in the case of an emergency declared by him, the special deputies would primarily guard and protect buildings and institutions, but would not be out on patrol.
Nassau County is already safe. Nassau County has a strong, well-trained, and capable police force that can respond if and when there is an emergency.
Some opponents to the Blakeman plan here recalled how public order was bolstered during Superstorm Sandy.
Do you know what happened? The National Guard was brought in.
Blakeman says all special deputies will have to have a firearms license and get cleared by a physician to be certified for service.
Just the police should have guns and nobody else.
On 7th Street in Garden City, mixed feelings about the special deputy idea. This man identifying himself as retired from law enforcement.
I think under the proper circumstances that you would have residents that have no criminal history, no mental illness, have been well trained in firearm use. Yes, they could be used, I believe, as a civilian carrying populace.
Oh, I think it's terrible. I mean, more guns is not the answer to safety.
The county executive says all special deputies have signed a waiver in case they are injured or wounded. Blakeman adding, there's always the risk of a mistake, but that's part of the business of law enforcement. Steve Langford for NewsdayTV.
Steve, thank you. Read more about Blakeman's plan on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the NewsdayTV video box. The Wyandanch Public Library is hoping a tax hike will help cover increasing legal fees and utility costs. Officials will discuss the proposed 2% annual budget boost at a board meeting tonight. Property owners would pay about $22 per $100 of assessed value. A public vote on the measure will be a week from today. Montauk Sands Motel has a new owner. The oceanfront complex hit the market last year for $28 million. Enduring Hospitality bought the South Emerson Avenue property for an undisclosed amount. The group says it's planning a major renovation after the summer season, which will have a focus on health, wellness, and surf culture. Did you see it? Long Islanders joined millions across the country looking up at the solar eclipse. Newsday joined the watch party here at Farmingdale State College yesterday. On Long Island, the moon blocked 90% of the sun. This is what it looked like through one of our cameras, the shape of a crescent. This was just before 3:30. For many, it was a moment they said they will remember forever.
Well, I never seen one before, to be honest, and then I didn't know that you needed like special glasses to see it too. Because I thought you could just use like sunglasses or something like that.
To me, it looks like the moon. Right now, it like a crescent moon almost.
The vibe was all inclusive, everyone coming together. It was like a giant viewing party for a movie. It was so awesome.
You needed those glasses to protect your eyes. Well, people hoping for a total solar eclipse on Long Island will have to wait until 2079. So hopefully you got a glimpse of it. Find more coverage on the eclipse on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Challenges and charm are mixing in Long Island's smallest school districts. Sherry Einhorn has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
Days. How many more thirds is that to get to 2 more days?
Welcome to the Wainscott School. The district is small, really small compared to most others. 84 kids total, 24 in this school, which is kindergarten through 4th grade.
You know everybody in the school.
Not just in your class, you know,
you'll know
entire school.
They share classrooms and teachers.
13, 14.
While a teacher is working with students in one grade, the others are learning independently. It's described as cozy, homey, and unique.
The older students become teachers, role models, mentors, and it's really important for the older students, and the younger students absolutely love it.
All students have lunch and recess together, and employees here wear multiple hats.
We're very streamlined administratively. Most of the people that work here, other than the teachers, are all part-time, including our superintendent, our business manager.
Now, the Wainscott School isn't the only one here on the East End set up like this.
What do you say?
Second grade teacher Dana Andrioli has an all-around perspective on the small school setting. She was a student here at the Remsenburg-Spionk Elementary School, so were her kids, and now she's a teacher.
You really have the time to get to know each student individually, their parents.
The district dates back to 1813 and has 125 students in grades K through 6.
I like how everybody kind of knows each other and like we get to do fun things with the whole school.
Students here and in other small districts choose one of the larger surrounding districts to attend when they go to the higher grades, and their home district pays the tuition wherever they go.
It's tricky because with our budget, more than half of it goes to tuition. So if I need to make cuts, I can't make cuts there. I can only make cuts in my K-6 budget.
It's a delicate balancing act, she says, similar to the harmony of notes played by this marimba band. In Remsenburg, I'm Shari Einhorn for Newsday TV.
That was really good, that singing there, the music. Read more on Long Island's micro districts on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Checking out your hyperlocal Tuesday forecast, a warm-up for the next few days before rain moves in to end the work week. Looking at your day planner, partly cloudy, highs around 65 degrees today. Tomorrow, rain returns, highs in the 50s. And looking at your futurecast, it doesn't look like the rain is going to be heavy. We'll get some sprinkles and it should dry out before the weekend. Looking at your 7-day forecast, parts of the island could hit 70 today. So get outside and enjoy it because again, the rain is back for a few days, but it should clear up just in time for your weekend. That's a look at your 7-day forecast.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
I'm Jasmine Anderson. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.